Hi again. I have a story to share with you. All right, here we go. Get ready. Once upon a time, a long time ago, there lived a beautiful woman who lived in a land that was war torn. She was not only beautiful on the outside, but her heart was beautiful too. She had a way of empathizing for the hurt people around her and tried to be helpful to all who had broken hearts. She knew what that felt like and wanted all to feel loved. She carried herself with a regalness, a confidence, a dignity that was unmatched in the town she lived in. She had a gift for seeing the truth in people's hearts and an understanding for their darkness. In the same town, there lived a local magician. At one time, his heart was pure and full of love, but as happens in war-torn lands, he lost so much that he shut his heart off. He lived from his shadow now. He lost his confidence. This magician had been watching the beautiful woman for quite some time. He admired her confidence and he lusted to have her. One day, amidst the destruction of war, they met and came together. It was like fireworks, the passion, love, and comfort they created together. Oh! For a time, the beautiful woman felt that she met the one who would love her. And the magician got his confidence back. They truly loved each other, but the magician saw his heart opening and couldn't allow this to ever happen again. The beautiful woman with her empathetic ability saw this, but thought her love, which was a love she loved with all her being, could help him open his heart. One day, the beautiful woman lost everything as happens in war. She lost everything at once: her home, her family, her income. She was dazed with trauma. Although the magician always kept her at arm's length, she thought for sure he would take her in and help her. The magician hated himself for loving the beautiful woman and blamed her for it. He wanted her but couldn't fully leave her. Not for the love, but for his lust, which is what he fed inside his heart. As the beautiful woman begged him for help, he left her out in the cold, letting her in his home once in a while, here and there, when he had to have her. He fed her the scraps and crumbs from his table and did everything to take her confidence and dignity away because he hated himself for loving her deep down in his heart. A few times she was stuck in the mud and couldn't move, so others took advantage of her. The magician would walk by seeing her naked, alone, and broken. But he would keep walking by. She did her best to survive and kept knocking on the magician's door, and sometimes he would let her in for a night or two. Eventually, she lost her confidence too. Years went by. Years. One day, when the magician had let her in for a couple of days, she found she could no longer hear about his wealthy adventures. She began to have a series of epiphanies. She realized that the magician had no reason to open his heart and never would, because he fed off of her heart all this time. She stopped blaming him for being so cold and dark and understood that she gave her power freely to him, and she created this cycle of misery for herself. She knew in a moment that she could never open his heart. He had to open it himself if he wanted to. And he didn't want to, didn't need to. She grieved hard, for now She understood how she treated herself. She cried and cried and cried. And thought the tears would never, ever, ever end. For she also cried for him, as she also saw his own misery. So one day, she was done crying. She got her confidence back slowly. She dressed herself in her best, washed her face, combed her hair, and left the war-torn town. She had heard that war had left in another town far away, and there were opportunities for work and a safe home. She left town, shook the dust off her feet, and that's not my story. Here is my story. Oh, how sad. There is this woman named Loveworthy. She has made the decision and choice with resolute confidence to take full responsibility for her own life and believe 100% that she can create every opportunity to live the life she wants, to be happy and content and full of joy and laughter. Loveworthy is taking the journey inside to not only leave town but leave the pain behind her. She is honest with herself and trusts what her higher self tells her, 'cause she asks. She asks. Loveworthy is understanding. She's understanding how to balance her life and being with proper boundaries to protect herself and others. She protects her inner child, who teaches her how to receive all that is good from the universe and herself. Loveworthy is also understanding that getting in the way of other people's lessons by depleting yourself through giving too much is not love for others. The truth has set Loveworthy free. Now she has her dream job, helping others to love themselves enough to do the inner work of healing, taking personal responsibility and for themselves, and manifesting their dreams. She understands that not everyone wants to do this, and that is okay. They can choose to be miserable as long as they want. She shares a home with a partner who is open, honest, and growing. Helping others is a bliss they have in common. She has a cute Maltese dog, a vegetable garden, a flower garden, and a large porch surrounding her home. Loveworthy loves to stargaze at night and dreams of a better, more loving world. She could not be happier knowing that her dark journey brought her to this wonderful place in life. She is grateful for both the dark and the light now. It has brought her bliss to full balance. Isn't that so many of our stories? We focus so much on the dark. We get so wrapped up in our addictiveness to sadness and the dark, because for many of us, that's all we've known. Can't even imagine what it's like to be free and happy. But you know what? We have to imagine something better in order to bring it forth, don't we? I understand. I do. And I still love. But I love myself enough to be all that I came here to be, because there's been too much darkness. And I have something to offer in the light, and that only comes from my own freedom. So will you be free too? Will you choose to be free? Will you do the work, the inner work. No matter how hard things get. You know, I didn't have anybody along my way. But you know what? I have you now. And you have me. So let's go on this journey together. Tell me where you're at. Tell me what you need. Tell me about your future. Don't just tell me about your past. Tell me about what you want to build. Tell me about what you want in life. If you could have anything you wanted and there was no obstacles, there was not a money issue, there was not a people issue, there was no obstacles. No, none whatsoever. What would you want? And that doesn't mean that there won't be issues along the way. You didn't get yourself in this misery, or other people didn't get you in this misery in a short amount of time. It takes a changing, and then you don't change like that. It takes a willingness to do the work, to take the time, to begin to do and think differently. What do you want? Tell me what it is that you want, and I will align with that for you. I will believe with you. I will support for you. I love you all so very much. I hope you know this. I hope you feel this, because it is the love of the divine that I have to give to you. That's what I have to give to you. So, we will talk again. I love you. Have a good day.